One of Them Days is a brand new buddy comedy that's out in theaters this weekend. This film stars SZA and it stars Keke Palmer, and it is written by, I think her name is Sarita Singleton. She is the one who was involved with Issa Rae on Insecure. She also was the showrunner on a show called Rap Shit that came out on Max a couple of years ago. Had a couple of seasons. Pretty good show. You should check it out. The story here is just your average everyday in the hood. It follows two friends, Alyssa and Drew. These are two friends who suddenly find out that their rent money is missing, and now they're against the clock trying to pay their rent. While all of that is happening, there's a big interview for this dream job that Drew is trying to get ready for, and then there's a whole bunch of other shenanigans. There's a bully that's after them. There's a crime lord that's after them. So it's just a crazy day. Your average everyday in the hood. I love Friday. Friday is one of my favorite comedies of all time. I'm going to assume that most of you have at least heard of Friday. And listen, if you don't like Friday, that's fine. Like, it's subjective. Comedies are subjective. Humor is subjective. All that shit. I get it. It might not be for everybody. If you have not even seen Friday, though, I do question you as a human being on this earth, and you haven't seen Friday. Like, why the hell have you not seen Friday? I bring all that up to say that it's been a long time since we've had like a Friday-esque type of comedy. You know what I'm talking about? It's one of those black-led comedies with either black women, black men, where it just feels like one of those buddy type of comedies where it's just a bunch of shenanigans and it just takes place in a single day. It's a bunch of random events that coalesce into a very simple story. And I'm so glad that we got this one because it does remind me of Friday a lot. And I'm pretty sure that was the goal here. Like, this movie feels like it's a 90s comedy that was somehow made in 2025. Or I guess it was made in 2024, but it came out in 2025. You guys get what I'm saying. Now, the movie does star SZA, it does star Keke Palmer. I came into the movie big fans of them anyways. I'm a big fan of SZA's music. I'm a big fan of Keke as an actress, but I will say if either of them are bad or if the chemistry is not what it should be, you just feel like the movie would be a lot more boring than it actually is. Luckily, not only do they work, they get overtime pay for this one. Chemistry between SZA and Keke and their characters is easily hands down the best thing about the entire film. I love their relationship in this movie. It is so sincere, it's so genuine, it's so funny. Their personalities, their dreams, their motivations and ambitions, it all perfectly mixes together. I don't know if they're friends in real life, but based on the chemistry in this movie, it's hard not to imagine them as friends in real life. Shout out to the way they're written, shout out to the way they bounce off of each other, that whole interplay. All of it. I'm in love with all of it. I want to see them in as many movies together going forward as possible. I did make the comparisons to Friday because this is like a very simple, everyday in the hood type of story. It's not something that's trying to be bigger than what it is, and it knows exactly what pocket it's trying to stay in. Are some parts of the movie a little bit absurd, a little bit ridiculous? Of course, that's part of its charm. Most of the movie is just about entertaining you with the characters and the situations that they're in, the dialogue that is used for a lot of these situations. So in that sense, it's a very funny script. I will also say that the soundtrack for this movie is bussin'. A lot of the songs, a lot of the artists, the song selection that they chose here. Doichi, you got a little Doja Cat, you got some Lotto, you've got SZA, I mean, you've got Ice Cube. There's a lot of different artists curated for the soundtrack, and I thought all of them were perfect choices. Little things like this big blow-up font that looks kind of like colored graffiti to emphasize what's going on in a story. The right amount of close-ups, the right amount of slow motion shots. I mean, some of those things do add to the experience from a directing standpoint, not gonna lie. Listen, I think the movie is funny, and I think for any comedy, that's the main goal. It should be to make you laugh, and I was laughing consistently throughout this movie. Not every gag works, not every joke lands for sure, but I think most people are gonna be happy with the humor. There are some gags and subplots that feel like they drag on a little bit too long in this movie. Some of the subplots that are introduced in this movie feel like they're only there so that they can make the movie feel a little bit longer, and I'm not gonna lie, I did roll my eyes at some of them because the movie does have a lot of cliches and tropes that are baked into this genre. You do feel like some parts of the storytelling are formulaic, very predictable. You're going to be able to see where things go. You're going to see the shoe before it drops, so to speak. But it's a funny, dynamic script with two funny, dynamic leads in a movie that knows what it is and stays in its lane. It's a movie that was entertaining for me from beginning to end. I would highly recommend that you check this movie out in theaters. One of Them Days is one of those type of movies. It was a lot of fun. I enjoyed it a lot. I'm going to leave this one in the Silver Age for Man of Steel. We definitely need, going forward, more black women-led comedies. I like seeing us in movies like this where we get to showcase how naturally funny we are, and this movie's a perfect example of that, so I hope you guys check it out. All right, guys, those are my thoughts on One of Them Days. Tell me, what are your 5 favorite comedies made in the last 10 years? Go ahead and put that in the comment section below. Please like and subscribe to the Superfan Show, and if you like what you see, tell me how you feel, and stay tuned to hear more from the Man of Steel. Peace.